Hey everybody, welcome to Alex Zech's The Way Forward Health and Sovereignty Summit. I'm Polla Pratt and I'm an ozone, oxygen, and somatic therapist, and I've been invited here today to share with you about health sovereignty and how you can heal yourself and your loved ones with home ozone therapy. I'm a somatics professional for 25 years and I specialize in somatic trauma resolution and somatic-based sovereign systems design. And I wholeheartedly believe for my whole life that we can heal ourselves with our innate intelligence and that our bodies are designed to heal anything and everything. But about 10 years ago, I became chronically ill and I realized that I don't have yet the skills and the knowledge and the consciousness to heal myself. So I started looking out for something that could help me. And that's when I found ozone therapy. It's triple oxygen. So what this triple oxygen does is it directly stimulates and balances and nourishes our biological terrain and our body's ability to heal itself. So I thought, yeah, I'm all in. This makes sense to me. So I started looking for a doctor in my local town, and I found two. And they were it was about $500, $600 for an initial consult, and about $1,100 to $1,600 for a blood ozonation treatment. So, and using needles to put the ozone into my blood. So I thought, wow, that's pretty expensive and I don't like needles, so there's got to be another way. So I started doing some online research and I kept looking and I figured out, you know what, I'm going to get my own home ozone therapy system and I'm going to figure this out myself. And that I did. And I started with the ozone therapy. And the first thing I did was I worked with a walking pneumonia. I had that for a long time. And I started with the water. And after drinking the water for about a month and a half, I had healed myself of this walking pneumonia. And then I kept drinking water and I started doing different modalities and I healed my whole digestive tract and this kind of like leaky gut situation. And then I healed this periodontal situation and I had healed my Lyme's and I helped to chelate, or I helped to detox some mercury that I had an overload of. And I just kept getting healthier and healthier as I kept using this ozone generation system. So I'm super passionate about sharing with other people, as many people as possible, how to get your own home ozone therapy system and start treating yourself and your loved ones at home. I want to address that this is a public summit. And so I'm going to share with you today in a personal and friendly capacity, not in a credentialed professional capacity, because I only share my professional credentialed capacity in my private practice, which I operate through a private membership organization. So now more than ever, it's important that we distinguish between the public, our public engagements, and our private engagements, so that we don't commingle the two. So that said, I've got one other thing I'd like to share before getting into the presentation, and that is that this presentation, my sharing with you today, is personal and friendly, and it's for your entertainment purposes only. That is, right? Not anything I say is to be construed for any kind of medical or professional advice. So with that said, let's get into the slideshow. All right, well, let the show begin. Welcome to Home Ozone Therapy. On the agenda today, I'd like to talk about the importance of oxygen, the war on oxygen. If you didn't know that there is a war on oxygen, you will in the next couple of minutes. The paradigm shift into health sovereignty, what therapeutic ozone is and how it works, the benefits of ozone therapy, what conditions you can address at home, ozone and somatic therapies combined, it's the way to go, and home ozone therapy system basics and how to get started, what equipment you need and where you can buy it, and I'm going to show you a little 4-minute video tour of my home ozone therapy setup. And if this resonates with you and you want to get started, I'm going to make you some special offers to make it as easy and as affordable to get started as possible. Okay, I'd like to talk about the similarities and the differences between oxygen and ozone. Oxygen is a double molecule and ozone is a triple molecule. And it's that third molecule of oxygen that makes ozone so omnipotent and such an amazing self-healing substance. In the application of oxygen and ozone, we need an oxygen supply, which is like the oxygen concentrator in the middle or an oxygen tank on your left, and an ozone generator. So we need oxygen in order to make therapeutic grade ozone. The importance of oxygen. The average person can live about 4 days without water, 40 days without food, and about 4 minutes without oxygen. Oxygen is essential for all of our cellular respiration and healthy cell functioning. It's essential for turning our food into energy. It feeds our mitochondria and helps generate ATP. It's essential for eliminating toxins and essential for balancing, stimulating, and nourishing our body's innate self-healing capacities and our biological terrain, our bodies. And except for anaerobes, all life on Earth needs oxygen to live. So every cell in our body needs oxygen to stay alive. Oxygen is essential for all life on Earth. Enter the war on oxygen. Did you know there's a war on oxygen? It's going to make some sense here in a minute. Remember at the beginning of the pandemic and all that predictive programming and the propaganda trip that we went on with the mainstream media and George Floyd. I can't breathe, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. That's all we heard for months at a time. And then we got these mask mandates, which limit our ability to uptake and distribute oxygen in our body. They are psychologically and physiologically toxic. We've got hospital ventilator murders. I'm sure that almost everybody here that's watching this now knows at least one person that's been murdered on a ventilator in a hospital. Then big pharma wrongful oxygen protocols. Both my brother and my mother have had strokes and heart attacks in the last couple of years. And when I was in the emergency room and I was working with the doctors and I was pleading for them to give them some supplemental oxygen. And the doctors said no, they wouldn't give them any supplemental oxygen because they said the studies show that it doesn't help. What? And then insurance companies, profits over preventions, customers not cures. Follow the money, connect the dots, it's all one big system. Then the FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, approving lethal EMS technologies without proof of no harm. They're approving 5G towers, smart cities, the Internet of Things, cell phones, laptops, pump guns. They know that millimeter waves and EMF technologies harm our biological tissues and that they are accumulative. And the CDC and the World Health Organization pushing blood clotting, blood coagulating kill shots. I say no more. And then here's the big picture, the whole system of private for-profit corporations pushing all of these illegal mandates and experimental injections and smart cities, 5G, the Internet of Things. We all know about chemtrails. We see these about every day. We're getting sprayed like bugs, just chemical cocktails that affect our air and our water and our land and affect our body's ability to uptake and distribute oxygen. Then we've got glyphosate, did I say that right? Food chain poisoning. It chelates the minerals out of the soil and it helps suffocate the soils. And then when the soils grow the food that we eat lacks the minerals that we need to uptake and distribute oxygen. Not to mention that it wreaks havoc with our whole gastrointestinal systems. And then remember at the beginning of the pandemic, when they sent all the kids home from school and they told all the adults to shelter in place, and those of us who were paying attention, we saw all of these white vans pull up at the schools in our public buildings, and they were installing these cold reactive oxygen species generators in the HVAC systems. And what these ROS systems do is they basically shred the oxygen molecules, so then when we breathe them in, they damage our lungs and they damage our ability to uptake and distribute oxygen, not to mention, all the stuff on this slide here. And then EMF radiation, it's slow suffocation, and a lot of people don't know that. Even the WHO has classified EMF radiation as a class 2B carcinogen. And our oxygen molecules in our bodies oscillate at 60 gigahertz. And when our oxygen molecules, our tissues, get hit with a certain level of EMF, this particular level, it pulls the oxygen right out of our hemoglobin. And then our hemoglobin go flat. And they start to stick together. And this is called the Rouleau effect. When they stick together, it coagulates in our blood, and it's a slow suffocation. So if you want to take a moment, I would encourage you to look up online live blood analysis before and after exposures to EMF. And you will see that just after holding your cell phone for about 5 minutes, your blood is going into the Rouleau effect, and your blood is starting to coagulate. The common symptoms of this EMF radiation we are all familiar with: headaches, fatigue, difficulty concentrating, numbness, tingling. It's poor circulation. Some more causes of low oxygen. Well, all disease, I believe, is just a combination of unresolved emotions, inner biological conflicts, and toxic exposures. And stress. Everyone knows that stress is the #1 killer. When we're under stress, our bodies constrict, they get under tension, and then our cells can't get the oxygen that they need. And chronic illness. Anybody that's got chronic illness is in a state of chronic hypoxia. Hypoxia is just another word for low oxygen. So if you're low oxygen, you are, for a long period of time, you're going to be chronically ill. Chronic illness and chronic hypoxia go together. And then cancer and overgrowths of fungus and harmful bacteria, they only grow in low oxygen environments. So the antidote clearly is oxygen. Or even better yet, triple oxygen, which is ozone. Okay, becoming health sovereign. We're moving into the self-empowered solutions part of this presentation here. And it all starts with health sovereignty, starts with believing in your own innate self-healing capacities and working holistically with your whole mind, body, and spirit. And we all know that living a healthy lifestyle is important to our health and our well-being, and lots of love. And health sovereignty is really about being, taking charge of our health and developing skills and confidence to heal ourselves. Home ozone therapy is how I developed part of my own health sovereignty. And being the authority of our own health and well-being is the very key, that we make decisions for our own body, nobody else does. And using home ozone therapy as an adjunct healing modality, like I said, is how I increased my own health sovereignty in a way that you might be able to too. Okay, this is the big paradigm shift that we're in right now, is becoming health sovereign and making the decisions ourselves. What we put in our body, what we do to our body, what anybody else does to our body. Fine if you want to go talk to a doctor and get a consultation, but we, as health sovereigns, make the decisions ourselves, not our doctors. Okay? As health sovereigns, we see our body as energetic and spiritual beings, not as mechanical, chemical beings. And we use holistic, not reductionistic methods. And the object in health sovereignty is to stimulate, balance, and nourish our biological terrain, our body's innate ability to heal itself, not to pathologize and prescribe drugs. And the premise is using our own observation, somatics, our own bodies, to give us the biological body-based feedback loops so we know what's good for us and what's not good for us. We're not using a medical paradigm of objective, dissociated, abstract, top-down thinking about our bodies and what's good for us. And of course, the remedy is natural, not synthetic. Okay, what is therapeutic grade ozone? It's produced with pure oxygen, and it's safe and healthy for the human body. And I want to make a distinction here because I get asked this a lot. People say, oh, I got an ozone generator. And I say, oh, okay, well, what kind of oxygen are you using? And they'll say, what? I'll say, well, if you don't have a pure oxygen supply, then it's not therapeutic grade ozone. So non-therapeutic grade ozone is produced with ambient oxygen, which is like the air that we're breathing. I'm at sea level, so it's about 21%, and the rest of the air that we're breathing is nitrogen. And when you put regular ambient air into an ozone generator, then it creates nitric oxide. And at high levels, nitric oxide isn't good for us. But these kind of machines these ozone machines you can buy that are non-therapeutic are good for like washing vegetables, cleaning the air, and for cleaning external surfaces. But I wouldn't put it in my body. Okay, is home ozone therapy safe? Yeah, for sure. In fact, it could be a game changer in your health, and it might even save your life or your loved ones. The only exceptions are don't breathe it straight unless you're putting it through olive oil. When you bubble ozone through olive oil, it changes the molecular structure, and then it's really good for us. And I'll get into that in a minute. The only precautions are that ozone and oxygen at high concentrations and volumes can be oxidative. It's kind of bleachy. So we got to be careful not to do too much oxygen, too high a concentration so that we don't burn or dry out our tissues. And the rule of thumb with home ozone therapy is low dose, slow over time. This is my favorite thing about ozone therapy is that it's innate intelligence savvy. It innately knows and innately goes to where we need it the most. And it prioritizes in everybody's body differently. What it does in my body and what it does in your body is different because it innately knows and innately goes. And it's accumulative. It picks up where it left off. So if I keep doing treatments, it's just going to keep picking up where it left off, and it's going to get a great momentum, a healing momentum going on. Home ozone therapy benefits. All right, stimulates dozens of cascading healing sequences in our bodies. And it increases metabolism, energy production, and life force. It stimulates healthy cell-functioning circulation and the uptake and distribution of oxygen. It stimulates antioxidant enzymes up to about 300%. That's incredible. And it supports and modulates the immune system. Reduces inflammation. That's a big one. Most people have got a big situation going on with inflammation. It stimulates, balances, and nourishes our bodies and our innate capacity to self-heal. I'm going to keep saying that because this is the big idea here. And it just does way too much to list here. But these are basically the key benefits of home ozone therapy. And I want to say that the ozone therapy affects our autonomic nervous system. So our breathing, our metabolism, our digestion, our elimination, our sleeping, and even our sex drive. So what we're aware of and what it's actually doing can be two different things, because about 95 to 99% of what we are aware of is subconscious, pre-programmed, and hardwired. So it's doing so much more than we are actually aware of. But I feel the benefits in just how it elevates my mood, it changes my skin, all of these things, all of the autonomics. You'll notice it too. Primary benefits: detoxification, immune support, inflammation reduction, improved brain function, improved neurological functioning, improved respiratory functioning, and it improves our athletic performance and training. And weight loss. It boosts our metabolism, so it helps us to lose weight. And dis-ease prevention by this triple oxygen stimulating and balancing and nourishing our systems and helping our body to get more oxygen to optimally function. And you think this is one of my favorite benefits of it, because whenever I'm doing a lot of ozone, my skin looks better, my teeth look better, I feel better, I've got more energy. And detoxification. When you get into doing your own home ozone therapy, you need to know what kind of toxins have accumulated in you. We've all got a little bit of cancer, but is there an overgrowth? Do you have a situation with that? Mold, fungus, bacterial overgrowth. Do you have a lot of that? Metals. The thing I want to say about metals is that ozone therapy doesn't chelate metals, but it helps to detox to clean up the detox pathways in our body to help us eliminate metals. Lime, anesthetics, general anesthetics can stay in our lungs for decades. And pharmaceuticals, I think we can get a lot of them out, but I'm not sure about all of them. And industrial and environmental toxins is another thing to consider. Like if you are a hairdresser, Are you exposed to a lot of aerosols and ammonias, and maybe you're a mason and you've got a lot of silica. So it's really important to think about what you may be detoxing when you start your own home ozone therapy. So you want to go low and slow so you don't have too much of a detox reaction at once. And you want to track your body. Okay, ozone therapy helps to resolve symptoms. We are all familiar with these: brain fog, chronic fatigue, confusion, memory problems, insomnia, mood swings and irritability, headaches, balance problems, and speech problems. Whenever I'm doing ozone, I'm feeling good. And it will help to resolve all these symptoms for you as well. So what diseases and conditions can ozone therapy help with? I think a better name for this slide might be, what diseases and conditions can it not help with? Right? So, because ozone helps across the board increase the quality of our life. It feeds our cells, it gives us extra energy to deal with the dis-ease in our body. So I want to talk a moment about cancer, because if you got that jab, or one of your family members have got that jab, what I'm understanding is that the rate of cancer is exploding in the vaccinated. So if you've got a family member that's been vaccinated, the chances of them getting cancer is going off the charts right now if they don't already have it. And this is home ozone therapy is a way you might be able to help them. I also want to give a shout out to all my friends who I've helped with prostate cancer. Ozone therapy, rectal insufflation is a game changer for that situation. So moving on here, what treatments can I learn to do at home? I'm just going to list these off and then talk about them a little bit. Dental insufflations, that's just another, it's a fancy word for gas infusion. So we can put the gas, simply said, in our intestines, our ears, our nose, our mouths, our vaginas, wherever there's a hole you can put it. Bubbled ozone through olive oil. That's my favorite go-to. Ozonated water, that's how I got started. It's very powerful. Ozonated saline eye drops. I helped a friend with macular degeneration. It's amazing stuff. Limb bagging. This is a big bag that you can fill with ozone and put either your arms or your legs in it if you've got something going on with them. And cupping and suppositories. Suppositories are great. You can buy them at PromoLife. I'll talk about that in a minute. But they're help with any kind of vaginal or rectal, and they're systemic. Okay, somatics is key to successful self-healing. We need to listen to our body's innate intelligence and track how our bodies are changing in what our bodies need. And I suggest that we do this practice called sit and slack. It's my core practice, and I do this every day, throughout the day, not even just when I'm doing ozone. But what I do is I sit and I feel my feet on the ground, and I notice what sensations I feel in my feet. And then I feel my butt in the chair, and I notice what sensations do I feel with the chair touching my legs and how it supports my back. And then I slack my jaw, I soften my tongue, and I soften my eyes. And I just drop down into my body. And in this way, I can track my body, I can feel my body, I can name the sensations in my body. And what the sit and slack helps me do is it helps me work from the upper brain by asking my body to do all these things. My brain has to go, I have to go down into my brainstem to find the name of the sensation. And in this way, I can get a whole brain traction, and I can begin to have a biological body-based conversation with myself and with my autonomic nervous system. And so I always use body-based inquiry, this sit and slack, before, during, and after every ozone treatment, and I suggest that you do too. This is what I call the somatic advantage. Okay, ozonated water. This is how I got started. I had walking pneumonia, and I first started drinking the ozone water. The colder the water, the more ozone that it holds. And it takes me about 15 minutes to make 16 ounces of water, which is just a little bit more water than you're seeing here. And I would drink that water in about 15 minutes. And I hope you're not prudish, because I'm going to share with you my own health process. I would start drinking the water. Within seconds of drinking the ozonated water, my sinuses started to drain, and I started hacking up this yellow infectious mucus from my lungs. And this went on for about a month and a half. And after about a month and a half, there was no more yellow mucus. I felt very well, and the walking pneumonia was gone. This also helped a lot with my gastrointestinal and my stomach and just a systemic treatment. I just felt overall so much more healthier after drinking the water. Master your mouth. This is a big one. I'm going to go over the list here and then I'll talk about them a little bit. Oral biome balancing, periodontal disease remediation, infection elimination, sublingual systemic absorption. It remineralizes the teeth. It kills cavities if you catch them early on. And it's the beginning of no drill, no fill dentistry. So no drill, no fill dentistry is happening in other countries around the world, like in Italy and Germany. But it's not so big here with the American Dental Association because they make so much money drilling and filling our teeth. And once you drill a child's tooth, you're going to be drilling and filling that tooth for the rest of their life. And ozone kills cavities if you catch them early on. So I urge you to get started with home ozone therapy, if you've got kids especially, and teach them how to ozonate their teeth. And ozone also, it strengthens the teeth, it remineralizes them, and it helps them even get whiter. If you've got any kind of infection in your mouth, it's going to be a systemic infection. So ozone helps to balance the bacteria, so it can reduce the amount of bacteria, balance it in your mouth, and help with infection. Periodontal disease, that's a big one. I was quoted $2,000 for a remediation of periodontal disease, and this is when I first got started. And I got this little pick from Promo Life, and I'll show it in my little home video. And I put it around my teeth. You just go up and around, all around the gums, put it in some little pockets there. I did that for about 5 minutes a day. Every day or almost every day, every other day. And after about 2 months, I went back to the dentist, and the dentist was like, wow, what did you do? Your gums look great. So you can save a lot of money with home ozone therapy, especially in your mouth. Bubbled ozone through olive oil. It's my favorite go-to. It's got, when you bubble the ozone through olive oil, it changes the molecular structure into ozonoids and terpenes, which are super healthy. It helps us reduce inflammation. It's very energizing. It helps with mental clarity, helps regenerate the lungs, and it's great for working on the computer. There you see a little picture of me with my little nasal cannula in, and oftentimes I stay up late at night and have to work early in the morning. And oftentimes I'm getting up for Zoom meetings. And so I'll just plug in to the bubbled ozone through olive oil, and it just helps to reduce the inflammation in my brain, helps give me more clarity, helps give me energy and the stamina that I need, and I can just work on it all day long. Intestinal insufflation. It goes straight to the portal vein, to the liver, and into the blood. It's a systemic treatment, and it helps to balance all of our biological terrain and all of our biomes, and it's cheaper than blood ozonation with similar results. So like I was talking about earlier, I went to the doctors, and so for one blood ozonation treatment with needles, it's between about $1,100 and $1,600. So, for the cost of one ozone machine, you can treat yourself and your family for life. And as far as intestinal insufflations go, they're about $85 is the going rate for one. You'd have to drive there, do the insufflation in the office, and then drive home. And you could do this all, those are $85 a piece. So what is that? Maybe 15 or 20 ozone insufflations would cover the cost of a generator. And you could do this all in the privacy of your own home. Okay, what equipment and accessories do I need? Simple. An ozone generator, an oxygen supply, either a tank, oxygen tank, or an oxygen concentrator, a pediatric regulator or flow meter, tubing and connectors, and accessories. Equipment considerations. You want to buy as local as possible. Really anything you're buying, you want to get it as local as possible. Support the local economy. You want your generator to be as silent as possible. The first generator I bought was so loud. You don't want to be listening to this noise when you're doing your treatments. And we need to be keeping in mind this whole planned supply chain disruptions. You know, how long are these supply chains going to hold up, and what's going to happen? It's kind of something we need to think about. Okay, you want your equipment made in the United States. No foreign or Chinese parts, definitely. No customs. You want it to be from a family business if you can. And you want a lifetime warranty. And I've been in this business and I've been doing home ozone therapy for over 8 years. And there's only one company in the entire United States that fits all of these categories here and supports them all. And it's PromoLife. And you know what? They've become my soul family over the last 8 years. I love them all. Toby is the owner, and he's just an incredible human being. And he's become like a soul brother to me. And I know everybody on the team. They're all very friendly. They're truthers, and they support everything that we're supporting in here, health sovereignty. I put together a couple of packages with PromoLife. I call this one the basic. This is the easiest way to get started. You've got your ozone generator up at the top there. Over to the right, that little orange thing is a pediatric regulator. So you need to get an oxygen tank. And I'm going to recommend that you don't start with an oxygen concentrator, but that you start with an oxygen tank. You can get an oxygen tank at any welder supply, a local welder supply store. And I'll talk about that in a little bit here. And then you see down below with the basic, you get some intestinal insufflation bags. You can also do vaginal insufflations with those. And you get a water beaker so you can make water. And you get a syringe so you can do the ears, the mouth, or the nose insufflations. So you can basically hit all of the basic points with home ozone therapy with this introductory system here. Then I built a Health Sovereignty Deluxe system, which has everything that the basic system has, except for it's got the bubbled ozone through olive oil, the nasal cannulas, and the dental pick that I was talking about if you've got any kind of periodontal situation. Oh, let me back up here. This Health Sovereignty Basic is about $1,100. And this Health Sovereignty Deluxe is about $1,400. And I am an affiliate with PromoLife, and I've been with them as an affiliate for about 6 years now. And after talking with Toby, who knows Alex Zek, who put this summit on, he said, yeah, I want to do a special for you guys. For anybody that's watching the summit, for the first 2 weeks after the summit launches, he's going to, and he's never done this with me before. I've been working with him as an affiliate for 6 years. So this really is a special offer from Toby to all of you. He's going to take $80 off the basic. He's going to take $100 off the deluxe system. And this is the URL code. So I'm going to ask Alec if he can put that in as a live link in the show notes. And then you want to use the promo code HealthSov in all caps. All right. And you want to get this book. This is a book by Dr. Frank Schallenberger. He's one of the forefathers of ozone in the world. I studied with him professionally. This is a small, thin little book, and he's covering all the basics about ozone therapy at home, and he gives you some like concentration and dosing for each of the modalities. It's about $20 for this book, and ask that if you're going to get it, that you go to Frank Schallenberger's website, just look him up, and not buy it off of Google, or off of Amazon. Okay, here is a little short video that I made. It's about 4 minutes long, and to show you my own home ozone therapy system and to see all these parts in fluid form. Hey everyone, Polla here. It's so exciting that you're interested in getting your own home ozone therapy system. And so I'm excited to share with you my own home ozone therapy system in real time. This is just an informal video to help you see, in addition to the summit presentation, what this stuff looks like in real time and and how it all connects together. So the first thing that you need is an oxygen supply. So that's going to be either one of these two things, an oxygen concentrator with a flow meter, or an oxygen tank with a pediatric regulator. Okay, so the thing is about the oxygen concentrator is that it's electric and it's noisy. And the thing about the oxygen tank that I like so much is that it's off-grid, it needs no electricity, and it's silent. So what I'm going to recommend if you're just getting started is to start with an oxygen tank. So you can get different sizes. You want to get whatever size that's easy and comfortable for you to move around. Okay, so this is an 80 cubic foot tank. You can get a 40 cubic foot tank. It's about half the size. Or you can get like a 120 cubic foot tank if you're really strong. You can wheel that thing around. I recommend the 80. I can move this around pretty easily. So you've got your oxygen supply and your ozone generator. I use the single Elite. It's from PromoLife. And I've either talked with you about this before or after this video. And so you're going to connect your oxygen supply into your ozone generator, and there, you're producing therapeutic grade ozone. All right? I put my system on a trolley. This little trolley here allows me to move around the system very easily. So if it's a beautiful day outside, I can just roll it right outside and do some treatments outside. If I got a busy work day, I can just roll it into my office and plug in there. Or if I just want to lay in bed and do some treatments, I can just roll it into my bedroom. So this trolley makes it super easy to move around, a small little tank, easy to move around. So those are the basic components. Now you're just looking at accessories. So tubing and connectors and accessories. Here is the bubbled ozone through olive oil. This is my go-to favorite, right? Just hooks up with a little nasal cannula. Boom, you're going. Here's ozonated water, really simple to make. All right, you just plug that in right here. Okay, the syringe. This thing you can do so much with. I love the syringe. You just put it right here on to your machine. Turn on your ozone, or sorry, turn on your oxygen. Goes making some ozone. Oh! Oh my gosh, her. Anything can happen. You want to throw that over? Okay, awesome. All right, so improvisational. I love it. Okay, so you fill this up. Boom. You can put it right into your ears, just like that, okay? You can put it right in your mouth, boom, oral, right? And sinus, into your nasal, just like that. Super easy. You can get a lot done with a syringe, okay? Here is an intestinal insufflation bag. Just simple, easy. Small little catheter, boom, easy to do. Dental, right? Just got to show this thing to you really quick here. This is perfect for any kind of periodontal situation. If you've got little pockets in your teeth, this little needle right here, you just plug it right into your ozone machine. You can go around your mouth just like this, right? Amazing. This could save thousands, all right? If you've got other oral stuff going on, this little dental tray, this is $30 at PromoLife, and it'll cost you hundreds in a dentist. This is a way to save a whole lot of money, treat yourself at home, treat your family at home, and take care of and become more self-sovereign, health sovereign. And the last thing I want to show you really quickly is you can run this whole system with an oxygen tank, your ozone generator, and this little contraption here for $30 at PromoLife. You can run this off of any car battery or any battery that's like a car battery. So then you're off-grid, doing home ozone therapy or doing ozone therapy out in the street, wherever you are, you got it going on. So thanks for this quick share, and we'll see you back in the presentation. I hope you enjoyed the video and that was slightly entertaining for you. I'd like to talk with you about how to get started. First of all, you got to figure out what conditions you want to be able to address so that you can figure out what accessories you need to buy. And then you order your equipment and accessories. And if you pick one of those packages, it's all set up for you. Then you set up your equipment. PromoLife, I'm going to plug them again, because if you go with them, then they are awesome at helping you set up your equipment. They've got a ton of videos. You can call them. They'll walk you through it. They are so helpful. They really are about helping people to get going on and become more health sovereign. They're very passionate like I am. And you can join my PMA for support, because they're not at PromoLife going to be able to tell you how to use it. So if you've got some questions about dosing or concentrations and things, you don't get that out of Frank Schallenberger's book, then you can join my private membership association. And towards the end of November, I'm going to start having these monthly support group calls for home ozone therapy by donation. Okay, a couple of helpful tips to help you get started. Start with only 1 or 2 treatments. If you start with more than that, you risk getting overwhelmed. So just learn 1 or 2, master those treatments before you start learning more. Keep a logbook of every treatment, the time, the concentration, the effect. Go low and slow, always. That's the mantra with home ozone therapy, is low and slow. And include sit and slack. You want to track your body. You want to engage the biological body-based conversation. Okay, just a few words of caution. Be careful about using the internet for sources of your learning. As you know, there's a lot of hacks out there. Don't trust foreign-made ozone generators. The first one I bought, I tried to buy it on the cheap. It was loud, it was noisy, it broke down, and the calibration on it was all screwy. Okay, and use therapeutic-grade ozone only for your internal use. Okay, conclusions? The war on oxygen is real. Now is the time to take control of your own health. Home ozone therapy supports your health sovereignty. It's a timely decision. We've got supply chains. The world is really unpredictable right now. It's easy to get started. Just order and set up your system and start healing yourself and loved ones at home. Okay, you guys, that's what I got for you today. I'm Polla. If you want to communicate or collaborate, then please go to my website and join my private membership association, and we'll talk to you in the private. Okay, everyone, thanks so much for your precious time and attention. I hope this sharing was inspiring and maybe entertaining and motivating to you to get started with your own home ozone therapy systems. And I want to give a special thanks to Alex Zek. You are a hero. I so appreciate all that you're doing for humanity. Thank you so much for creating this, showing us the way forward and creating this Health and Sovereignty Summit and including me. Kudos to you and thank you to you all. I love you all, and cheers to trailblazing the transition into the new free world that is destined to be created.